Okay, so Neil Young, Needle in the Damage Done. It's a very cool technique because he's actually strumming something that sounds sort of finger-picked. I'm not showing you the left hand because the chords are all over the internet, but if enough people complain on YouTube, I guess I'll make another video. But what I wanted to show is just basically, I'm just holding a D chord, and I'm coming down on the down strum like this, and I'm palm damping right at the moment that my hand comes down in the strum motion. So this is like the first thing to work on, and it's a perfect thing to just stare out the back window and work on getting the timing right so that you don't get the strum first and then the mute after, but just right at the same time. And part of that is that the hand comes down and then the pick is striking the strings actually happens as your wrist deviates. So it moves that way. So if I'm like, so I just sit here and I move from the elbow for the strumming motion, but the pick passing through the strings actually happens from the wrist, because the forearm moves the hand in place and keeps the rhythm. And I just experience it kind of like a throwing of the hand. I don't, there's not a whole lot of force going into the strings, and you just get a nice palm damped sound there. And so because of that, what you'll see is, if I just move this towards the camera a little bit, the pick is at the end of that stroke tipped up a little bit. It's not the best pick for this, unfortunately, but you can see it looks like that. It's sort of tipped up because I'm giving in to the strings. You can see there's a little arc happening with the forearm. And then there on the way up, I'm inverting the arc. I'm actually coming and tipping the pick the other way with the tip of the pick down. And I'm just giving in to the resistance of the strings on the way up that way. So down, up, down, up. This is called supination and this is pronation. So you sort of supinate on the way down and then pronate on the way up. And this, I guess, actually, with a little bit of the deviation on the down strum, it's funny, but I actually do, this is what's called wrist extension. So you actually move the hand back towards the outside of the hand side, away from the palm, whatever that's called, the back of your hand. You're extending it a little bit, and that actually, that motion a little bit, it's part of the deviation. It allows you to kind of come away from the treble strings, because we're just going to hit the treble strings on the way up. So it's like bass, treble, bass, treble, bass, treble. Like that. And so on the way up, there's a little bit of rotation. And I find that the trick is just to really make sure that you don't hit the treble strings too hard, that you hit them gently. And by giving in with the rotation of the forearm, you can get that effect. I will actually find as I do that, oftentimes my thumb, this side of my thumb will kind of sometimes graze this bass strings a little bit and damp them a little bit. And it still sounds okay to me, so I don't worry about it too much. And then what you work on is just being able to pick out individual treble strings. So if you start on the way down and you just, so far we've been coming through the first string, and then you work on being able to target just right underneath the B string. And get accurate with that. Again, just staring out the back door with your favorite beverage is probably a preferred way to work on. This is very repetitive, but meditative. Just keeping good time. You can tap your foot, whatever. And then work on targeting also the G string. And And this is a big part of this kind of style of Neil's playing, and a lot of playing that he does sounds this way. Sounds real chunky. Okay, you just heard it like that. One of the things to work on, that you have to work on, is not making too many percussive sounds on the soundboard, especially if you have nails for finger picking like I do. So, but you can see I'm holding my fingers out away a little bit. Not really tense, but... So once you get each string and can get them consistently, then just like work on alternating pairs of strings. So play the E on the up, and then the B, just... And then play the B and the G. And then, if you're going to go really crazy, play the E and the G. And I guess I find that it's really differing amounts of deviation to get to the different parts of or to the different strings. Let's see if I can show you a little slowly better. See how they do more deviation to get down. And then it's about just combining those different up picks on those strings into the melodies that he plays on Needle and the Damage Done. So that's like 2 up strings on the E, and then 1 on the B and 1 on the G, if you do it correctly. One more time. There it is. And you can just practice that on a D chord, you know. Just play it up through the high E twice, and then through the B, and then through the G. And then various patterns throughout the song. The only other thing is that he does, I think it's the only thing he does differently in Needle and the Damage Done, but he does, when you get to the, so there's D, D with C in the bass, G over B, G minor over B flat, and then this part, he sort of flips the script actually for the next 2 chords, where he actually starts picking out the bass strings individually. So that's like a different homework problem where you work on playing a bass note. Homework makes it sound bad. Maybe, you know, a different practicing challenge. Okay, great. A strings, holding a C chord. So you can still see that motion. Let me see if I can do it slow. Yeah, there's really a bunch of extension in there. And then the D strings. And then the G string. And then you just have to combine those in different patterns. And you put that together and you get... One thing that I guess I should add is that when I was doing those D chords in the beginning, I just realized as I was doing it that time, is I actually do a little bit of alternating bass, so that's, yeah. Apparently apparently if I say that I do it, I don't do it, but I do it. You just heard me do it. There it is. So you can practice that. Again, perhaps have your favorite Canadian beverage in tribute to Neil. Okay, enjoy that practice challenge.